Well, I didn't expect to see you back here. Some of that was likely projection. We're not always proud of our scars. Being cheeky, are we, Belle?
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Deimos Force presents Let's Talk Gaming, the show where we give you a rundown of the latest and greatest games on the market for your viewing pleasure. My name is Mehdi, and before we start, I gotta say, I'm sorry. I'm very late to this review. I know it took me a while to get my hands on this game, mainly because I was very sick. Also, with the game's absurd 175 gig size and my puny 2 Mbps connection, it didn't help matters either. Making this review was not smooth sailing. Luck really seemed to hate me this time, but now that my voice sounds less like the tail end of an exhaust pipe, I'm more pumped than ever to finally dig into this game. Black Ops is my favorite series in the Call of Duty franchise. While most other shooters and Call of Duty games fall into this mindless cycle of, oh, insert name here country is threatening the world for the 10 octodecillionth time, and it's your job to stop it from happening. You are America's only hope. Godspeed and get out of there and shoot some bad guys. Black Ops, on the other hand, has always been a breath of fresh air for me. I was one of those snobby little kids back in the day who said, Call of Duty campaigns suck. All you do is mindlessly shoot people and smear ketchup on your screen when you get shot. Once I came up to age and had actually grown some brain cells, I played through all the campaigns, starting with COD 4 Modern Warfare. Captain Price is always a win. I love him, I love Soap, I love Gaz, I love Ghost. Those are my guys, but the Modern Warfare games didn't blow me away like it did with Black Ops 1. I expected more or less the same as before and went in blind, thinking it would give me another haphazard excuse to go shoot people. Well, after several instances of reality check and mindfuckery later, the credits rolled and I was like, holy shit. That was a Call of Duty campaign? Bear in mind, I had played Spec Ops The Line before this and it still blew me away. It was my favorite game in the franchise for a long time, and the other games didn't really reach that threshold for me. I thought Black Ops had the best campaign in Call of Duty. That was until I played the second one. Black Ops 2 is still, to this day, my favorite Call of Duty game. The campaign had a star-studded cast, good character motivations, and the biggest innovation of all, a choice-based story arc in a Call of Duty game. It brought back an engaging story that jumps through time periods with historic accuracy and remixed it with quality of life changes, brand new additions, and overall, a fresh new coat of paint. This is the gold standard of a Call of Duty campaign for me. Nothing even comes close. But what about Black Ops 3 and 4? Why don't you do me a favor, let's just forget these games even exist. Black Ops 3's campaign was a confusing mess. So much so that Activision took a page out of EA's book and dumped the campaign entirely for Black Ops 4. That's how bad it was. That didn't help Black Ops 4 much. I mean, outside of Warzone, the game was pretty forgettable too. Alright, rant's over. Black Ops 2 is my favorite game. I went in with very high expectations. So now, it's time for Cold War. I think I should start with the gameplay first. The shooting and movement is almost identical to Modern Warfare 2019, if not a tad bit worse. It's still impressive that Treyarch and Raven Software managed to recreate the feel of what another studio did, and in some places the game is fluid as hell. Infinity Ward always goes with the realistic gritty feel with this gunplay, and I feel like Modern Warfare 2019 was a huge step up in innovation when it came to Call of Duty games, and I think Treyarch always does stylistic stuff like with the Black Ops series and Zombies. So Treyarch really had to step their game up to match the standards left by Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. And all that within a 1-year time frame with all the virus stuff that's going on outside? That's pretty impressive. The gunplay is immensely satisfying, your bullets pack a punch, the reload animations are sick, and there are a variety of ways to take out your enemies. For campaign, it works fine. I haven't gotten into multiplayer as much. I'm not really focused on Call of Duty's multiplayer at the moment, but from what I've played and what I've heard from people who have played more multiplayer than me, they say that Black Ops Cold War's multiplayer is a huge step down from Modern Warfare's multiplayer, mainly because the time to kill is slower and the movement feels slower. The level design isn't as great as it was in Modern Warfare 2019. That's why people tend to camp more. I've heard all those issues, but in this video, I'm going to try to address the campaign as much as possible. With that regard, in the campaign, the gunplay works fine. Stealth makes a big reemergence this year. Remember that stealth mission in Call of Duty World War II? You know, the one where you had to infiltrate German territory in Paris, read your travel document thoroughly to pass interrogations, and blow up a gate to help the Allies? That was the best and the only memorable part about Call of Duty World War II, and Cold War knows what's up. Every mission in this campaign is some variation of that, and it's integrated very well. I think it was the most sensible choice. There's a very good reason why you don't see war games set in the Cold War because, yeah. Honestly, I love this setting. There's this vibe that you get from this game. You're infiltrating Russia, the Berlin Wall, carrying out secret espionage missions with plausible deniability. It feels great. The stealth aspects go really in depth too. I was very impressed by it. There was one mission which was very expansive in the way it wanted to take its stealth and world building. It was great. I'm very impressed with how stealth works in this game. The environments are great too. The music, the brutalist architecture of the Soviet era, neon halos around every street corner. I can't recall ever playing a game in this setting. It's fresh. When it comes to the mission structure though, Treyarch has done it again. To select a mission, you always start at an evidence board where you have to piece together photos and documents from your previous missions. Which, by the way, you find those documents strewn about in missions and then you take those and then you figure out where your next operation will take place. You can look at individual pieces of evidence, read descriptions and hear audio logs. There are hundreds of them. There's even a number station introduced at one point which you have to decipher yourself. It goes pretty in depth. It's a massive step up from the intel you had to collect in older Call of Duty games. And all this detail is not for show either. This evidence actually serves a purpose in a very cool way that I haven't seen in a Call of Duty game and in most games for that matter. There are two optional operations you can do alongside the campaign, which requires you to find evidence from the campaign missions like taking photos of the environment or stealing documents. And then once you're at home base, you have to interact with that evidence yourself. To make sure you have crucial knowledge before going on the mission, you have to decipher codes, hack into encrypted floppy disks, listen to wiretaps and tape recordings, comb through background checks to find the identity of spies conspiring against the United States. Really cool stuff. This game immerses you in its Cold War era and you feel like a secret agent. The missions themselves have many spectacles that I don't want to spoil for you because the game is way too short, but they are very detailed and well made, I assure you. Oh, and for you gun enthusiasts out there, you will love this. The Vietnam sections have their own different gun models. When you're in Russia or Berlin and you pick up an AK, it's a Russian AK. But in the Vietnamese sections, if you're well versed on guns and you know what they look like, you can tell that this is a Chinese AK. That little detail made me especially giddy. Man, is this what Christmas feels like? Now, let's get into the actual story. Credit where credit is due. The characters are great. There's this huge controversy where the previous cast members who played Mason, Woods, and Hudson didn't come back, and many OG fans were frustrated, me included. I mean, just go on IMDb and look at the main cast for the OG Black Ops games. Sam Worthington, Michael Rooker, Tony Todd. Do you know who played Hudson in Black Ops 2? Batman. That's so freaking cool. Why didn't those guys come back this time? Okay, maybe it's like monetary issues or something. No one cares about campaigns anyways. Alright, if you can't get those guys, why don't you get James C. Burns? He's always excited to play Woods. I don't know, and I don't think I ever will. But one thing's for sure, the new guys are well casted. On the old Black Ops team's side, Mason kinda falls flat, but Woods is as gnarly as ever.
You're welcome. You lost something.
For the new people introduced in Black Ops Cold War, I also love these guys, figuratively and literally.
Hey, I say you stole my heart!
My god, Adler is a beast. If me and this guy was in the same room together, I would crap my pants. Whenever this guy speaks, he just oozes badass. There's this point in the story where Hudson confronts Adler, they're doing a stare down, and I'm just standing here like, Hudson, you done fucked up. Alright, stop kissing this game's ass so much. Why are you praising this game? Did Activision cut you guys a check or something? We wish. But you're right. No game is complete without cons, which in this case is the story. It's kinda bad. Yeah, I know I said the campaign is great because it goes places where very few games have gone before, but the reasons for going there is flimsy at best. The story's main motivator is still the cliche of, oh, this guy wants to blow up half of Europe and blame America for it, even though those are our bombs, so technically it's kind of our fault, but we're gonna deny it anyways, cause we're Americans. Go find him and put a bullet in his ass, signed by the President of the United States. Yeah, it kind of fell flat on that front, but not as hard as the Black Ops-esque storyline. The story is basically, take Black Ops 1's campaign, inverse it, and then smash it down to 4 hours with a mallet. That's it. The whole mind control stuff is hinted at since the beginning, so I was interested to see where they take it. But it's never mentioned explicitly for most of the game, so when all of a sudden it abruptly enters the game at the very end, you're like, what? Where the hell did this come from? Now, don't go on crying down in the comments and say, oh, why'd you spoil the mind control thing? How could you do this? It's a Black Ops game. What did you expect? Luckily, this game does have multiple choices, which leads to multiple endings. But they all kind of ended up being pointless. Like, only the last choice you make before the last mission of the game sets the ending. None of the other choices you made throughout the campaign matter here at all. There's even a point where you have to make a very serious decision which would end in life or death. There's a handful of ways you could choose during this situation, yet whichever choice you make, it has zero effect. Just a few dialogue changes, that's it, even though you would expect it to have massive consequences. It just felt pointless. Also, I feel like the game's quote-unquote bad ending is better than the true ending. The good ending was also kinda underwhelming. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bad guy.
Duh.
For a game that's so well crafted and detailed, why is the story so short and abrupt? I was going to give them a massive penalty because of this. I was this close. Then I did some research into it and came across this video. And it all made sense. There's a reason why the story feels so rushed, because it was. And the reason for it being rushed, I'm sure you guys are very familiar with it. Because of the massive issue which we cannot name on YouTube, the story production came to a screeching halt. Until the guys who were at Activision figured out a way for the actors to work from home. They sent out these portable face mocap thingies to the actors so that they could set up and work from home, where a separate company was doing the full body mocap in-house. Everything was done online and it was convenient for everyone. Except for the technical people, of course, they still had to work their ass off. But the fact that they pulled off such a fine job during the situation where they basically had no physical contact and had a deadline, I'm sure there were more things planned for this campaign. It's too short, it had to be rushed. I'm very impressed that they maintained this level of quality throughout the campaign in these troubling times. There are some details in this game which makes me believe that the people who made this game actually cared about it. And it's heartbreaking for me that this team didn't get more time to hone their craft and work better on this game. But this method that they used in order for the actors to work from home, I'm sure it will be used more and more as time goes. I think it's very convenient. So, what are my final thoughts on the campaign of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War? Gosh, that's a mouthful. I really enjoyed it. It's not on par with the first two Black Ops games, but it's way better than most COD campaigns, without a doubt. With multiplayer and zombies paired up with it, I'd say check it out. It's a pretty good time. Speaking of zombies, I will be doing a separate video very soon on Cold War Zombies. I've been playing it for a while and I really enjoy it. There's been a lot of changes to the zombies formula this time around, so I'm trying to immerse in it as much as possible, and I can't wait to talk about it. Speaking of which, I'm probably playing it right now. Thanks for watching Deimos Force. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for more awesome content. My name is MehdiTalks and catch y'all later. Bye.